Good day, class. So, how was your day at home? That's good. At this morning, our discussion will be on ecology and its relevance to civilization. But before that, what did you say in this picture? This one, and this one. Very good. This picture is civilization, ecology, and earth. So, what is ecology? Ecology is the study of relationship between organisms and their environment. How about the civilization? A civilization is a complex human society usually made up of different cities with certain characteristics of cultural and technological development. In many parts of the world, early civilization formed when people began coming together in urban settlements. Let's discuss first about historical perspectives. Theocritus, a Greek scholar who wrote about the interrelations between organism and the environment. Anton van Leeuwenhoek pioneered the study of food chain and population regulation. F. E. Clements gave ecology a hierarchical framework and introduced innumerable terms and ideas of environment indicators. Feynman viewed freshwater biology as ecological and introduced the ideas of organic nutrient cycling and trophic filtering using the term producers and consumers. Victor Shelford stressed the relationship between plants and animals and emphasized the idea of ecology as a science of community. K. A. Lenderman, his paper entitled The Trophic Dynamic Aspect of Ecology represent the most significant advance in the development of modern ecology and mark the beginning of ecosystem ecology. S. E. Forbes, an entomologist who wrote a classic of ecology entitled The League of Microcosm, which is concerned with the interrelationship of life in a lake through food chains and the role of natural selection in the regulation of numbers or predators and prey. Charles Darwin, known for his theory of evolution and the origin of species. Chauncey Joddy helped establish basic theory of unified of general ecology. A. Locke and V. Volterra. Their theoretical contribution to the study of population growth, predation, and competition provided foundation of population ecology. The concept or level of organization is visualized as a sort of biological spectrum. This can take the form of biotic level. Interaction with the physical environment at each level produce characteristic function system.
Hi learners! Today we will be learning about the levels of biological organization. But before that, let us define first biology. Biology is a branch of science which deals with the study of life of all the organisms on Earth. Biology came from the Greek words bios means life and logos which means study. All living things exhibit complex hierarchy organization. This is arranged in descending order from the lowest to the highest level of biological organization. That includes cells, tissue, organ system, organism, population, community, ecosystem, and biosphere. One concrete example of a living thing is you. You are composed of many parts and each part has an essential and specific function. Every part is interrelated and necessary to your continuous existence on this planet. It is a guide by the rule, all for one, one for all, because these parts of your body will not work alone. Instead, all parts work as a whole. One part will not be able to work properly if another part is missing. Since life is a broad topic, scientists break it down into several different level organization to make it easier to study. These levels start with the smallest unit of life and work up to the largest and most broad category. Let's start with the cell. Cell is the smallest unit of life. There are two types of cell. Plant cells have cell walls, constructed outside the cell membrane and composed of cellulose molecules. Animal cells are typical of the eukaryotic cell, enclosed by a plasma membrane and containing a membrane-bound nucleus and organelles. Tissue is a group of cells performing similar functions. There are four types of tissue: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscle tissue, and nervous tissue. Histologist is an example of biologists that work at this level. An organ is a group of tissue performing similar function. It is a system of tissue that work in a large scale to do certain job within animal's body. Example of organs are brain, heart, and lungs. Anatomy is an example of biological field concerning with this level. An organ is a system of group of organs performing similar functions. They work together to work specific bodily functions. The respiratory, for example, uses the lungs, airways, and respiratory muscles to inhale oxygen and release carbon dioxide in animals. Physiologists study the function of the parts of the body as they work together. Organism is an individual living thing that has an organized structure. Organisms can be unicellular organisms such as bacteria or amoebae. Multicellular organisms comprised of organs and organ system. A human being is an example of a multicellular organism. Population is a group of organisms of one type that live in the same area. For example, a pride of lions in Kenya and Africa is a population. Community is a population that live together in a defined area. A community consists of all different species within a certain area. The population of lion in Kenya plus population of giraffe, elephants, and all other species in that area add up to the community. An ecosystem is composed of community and its non-living surroundings and physical components of the environment. Water, rocks, and dirt are parts of the ecosystem. Ecologists may study the populations, communities, or whole ecosystem. Lastly, we have the biosphere. It is the part of the earth that contains all ecosystems. Every animal, plants, bacteria, rocks, and molecule is part of the earth and its biosphere. Non-biologists such as meteorologists and geologists may join biologists to answer questions at this level of biological organization.
Let's discuss about the layers of the Earth. The Earth travels around a giant ball of a few hot gases called the Sun. When the Earth was young, a mixture of different chemicals covered its surface. The Sun's radiation acted on the chemical and deformed new materials called amino acid and sugars. These link up and eventually created the cells.
Today, we're going to learn about the geosphere. The geosphere is an inner layer of the Earth, extending from its surface to the inner core of the planet. This layer is made up of solid rock and habitable ground. The thickness of the geosphere is approximately 6,730 kilometers. The geosphere is made up of rocks, minerals, magma, and sand. The closer we get to the inner core, temperature, density, and pressure progressively increase. The geosphere is made up of three concentric layers: the crust, the mantle, and the core. The crust is the thinnest, outermost layer of the geosphere. The thickness of the crust varies from 5 to 30 kilometers, depending on where you are on the Earth. The crust is made up of continents and the bottoms of the oceans. The geosphere is broken up into several tectonic plates. These make up the crust and also the mantle, and they are found in a layer called the lithosphere. Tectonic plates are constantly moving, molding the crust. Their movements causes earthquakes. The second layer of the geosphere is called the mantle. It is 82% of the Earth's volume, being 2,900 kilometers thick. The temperature of the mantle is really high, ranging from 700 to 1,300 degrees Celsius. That's why it's made up of molten rock called magma. Sometimes magma finds its way up to the surface and flows up through the void between the tectonic plates. This is when volcanoes erupt. The core is the innermost layer of the Earth, and it is 3,500 kilometers thick. The inner part of the core is made up of solid iron, where the outer part is made up of liquid iron and nickel. The temperature in the core is ultra high, ranging from 4,400 to 6,000 degrees Celsius. The wide ranges of temperature and pressure conditions in the outer core cause the molten metal to move. This results in the formation of electric currents that produce magnetic fields. Did you know that thanks to these magnetic fields, we are able to use instruments like the compass? These are the layers of the geosphere. Did you like learning about them?
Did you understand the lesson? For now, let's have some exercises to answer. Number 1. The Earth is the only known planet that has life because E. It produces light and heat. B. It is elliptical in shape. C. It has water and air. And D. It is round. The correct answer is letter C. It has water and air. Number 2. The Earth has how many layers? A. 2, B. 3, C. 4, and D. 5. The correct answer is letter B. It has 3 layers. Number 3. A self-regulating natural community of living organisms. E. Biosphere. B. Niche. C. Ecosystem. And D. Cell. The correct answer is letter C. Ecosystem. Number 4. A rock formed when hot molten material called magma bubbles up from beneath the crust and hardens. A. Sedimentary rocks. B. Metamorphic rocks. C. Igneous rocks. The correct answer is letter C. Igneous rocks. Number 5. The most abundant compound in the biosphere. E. Carbon. B. Nitrogen. C. Water. And D. Ammonia. The correct answer is letter B. Nitrogen. Is your answers correct? Then you did a great job. Well done! I hope you have learned so much today. Thank you!